On this day in 1872, 150 years ago today, President Ulysses S. Grant signed the law that set aside the area that is Yellowstone National Park, America's first national park. It was meant to preserve and protect the scenery, the heritage, the wildlife, and the geologic and ecological systems. They wanted to keep them in their natural condition 150 years ago so we could enjoy them today. Well, that area, at nearly 3,500 square miles, isn't the largest, but it does cover parts of 3 states. About 1% of Yellowstone, a little more than 22,000 acres of Yellowstone, is in Idaho. It's that little sliver right along the eastern edge of the state. So sure, we can celebrate this sesquicentennial too. Sesquicentennial. 18 years ago, we helped celebrate another Yellowstone milestone, the 100th anniversary of the Old Faithful Inn. That was completed in 1904, built for $140,000, and it was designed by Robert C. Reamer, an elementary school dropout. So we're going to celebrate something that happened 150 years ago today by going back 18 years ago when we celebrated something that happened 100 years before that. It all makes sense in today's math and in today's 208 Redial.
Just a quarter mile away from one of the world's greatest geological wonders stands an architectural marvel.
Just a neat building.
Yellowstone's Old Faithful Inn.
It was just a beautiful building.
And it's 100 years old.
They just used these logs, and it's been standing here that long.
Today's centennial celebration had all the makings of a movie premiere, but the star was already inside.
This is my favorite building in the whole park.
It's a design that still draws attention.
When people come in, first thing they do, they look up.
A very particular gaping look and the eyes upward.
They're just mesmerized because of the 7-story, all log type structure.
For as big a structure it is, there's not very many logs holding this up.
Made from materials found in Yellowstone, including the 500 tons of lava rock that make up the 80-foot fireplace, architect Robert Reamer wanted the inn to be a part of the park.
When it was opened, it was touted to be the largest log cabin in the world.
There's a hole in the roof over there, see it?
It may not be perfect,
Right straight over there. See the little hole over there?
but it is perfectly placed.
With Robert Reamer and his design of the Old Faithful Inn, he was providing the comforts the travelers were used to, the electricity, the indoor heat, the indoor plumbing, but he was doing it in such a way that still made them feel a part of the wilderness. And that was what was unique about the Old Faithful Inn.
And the view is not bad either.
The view is not bad.
Pretty good view right out there in front of Old Faithful. The parkitecture, as they call it, of Old Faithful Inn has had a few changes over its 118 years. They added on an east wing in 1913, a west wing in 1927. They almost lost the whole thing in an earthquake in 1959, to a fire in 1988, and numerous attempts to just knock it down and start over. But it remains, thanks to 3 major periods of renovations. There was one in the 80s, another one in the early 90s, and the last one that began in 2004 and lasted about 8 years. The design of the inn was to give visitors a view of Old Faithful from virtually every part of the inn, and that's a live look at it right now. As you see outside of Old Faithful, they're not really scheduled to go off probably for another 20 minutes or so. The Old Faithful guys are still active today. It's slowed down a little bit and become a little less faithful, as it were. Where it once went off every hour, it now is more like every 90 minutes or so. There it is from earlier today. The park, by the way, doesn't open to cars until April 6th. Happy birthday, Yellowstone.